On Thursday morning, former Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff has been inaugurated as president of the new development bank. It was witnessed by the current Brazilian president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who arrived in Shanghai Wednesday evening. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony in Shanghai, Mrs. Rousseff vowed the bank would support developing countries in addressing their economic, social, and environmental needs.
As a former president of a developing country, I know the importance of multilateral banks and the importance of national banks. The most important challenge is to provide sufficient scale and financing to meet the huge challenges facing the economic, social, and environmental needs of various countries. This is a very important challenge that requires a lot of financing and the help of various countries. Let us overcome it together.
Rousseff was nominated by President Lula to take this position. She will have 2 years in office till Brazil and its rotating presidency of NDB in 2025. And during the ceremony, President Lula also made a speech. He said the creation of the new development bank showed that together, developing nations are capable of creating social and economic change.
The establishment of NDB is a very important decision for the development of emerging countries in order to take care of some vulnerable countries. They need support in funds very much, and we will do our best to help them. However, our reforms were relatively different from the traditional in the past. If there were no reforms, it would be difficult to advance these things.
President Lula also said Brazil would play a bigger role in tackling global challenges. The bank was founded in 2015 by the BRICS nations to fund infrastructure and sustainable development projects in emerging markets and developing countries. It has since admitted 4 new member countries: Bangladesh, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and Uruguay. The bank is now transitioning to its second 5-year general strategy, which commits around 40% of investments to climate change-related projects.
So guys, welcome again to another episode of the WSXM podcast as always. Tell a friend. So look, that video that we just watched, right? This is the new development bank, which is the BRICS bank. Its office is in Shanghai. So, and this is of the former Brazil president, she's going to be the new head of the bank, right? And what they're saying is she was nominated by the Brazilian president because Brazil is one of the founding members of BRICS, along with India, Russia, China, and South Africa. So this is good for Africa because Brazil and China and India is already trading within their own country, and South Africa hopefully going to join soon. Kenya is also doing that. And they just inducted 4 more countries into the banking system, which is the UAE, United Arab Emirates, Uruguay, I forget the next 2, Egypt, and the next one. So these they are now in the bank itself. So that means they are depositing money in the bank, a certain amount of money, and then now in return they're gonna use that money now to fund projects all over the continent of Africa and South America, because Brazil is in South America. So these are going to be funding projects in different countries, most only in BRICS member countries, not in the countries in the EU or not. Only the BRICS member continents and countries who are interested in BRICS, not just for anyone. But this is nice. This is a good look because this bank is based in China, which is untouchable because the West can't go into China and do anything. That's why I like the fact that this bank is based in Shanghai. And the former president of Brazil, I like this as well because, for one, she's a woman, and not because she's a woman, but she's a former president, so she knows how to manage a country. She knows how to do budgets and how to allocate funds. So being added to the bank as the new CEO for the next 2 years will be a plus because she already have the experience and the knowledge and the know-how of how to manage large sums of money and investments and all that. So this is a good look. So now I just want to know which currency, or if they're going to use a basket of currency like the IMF, like, which means they're going to have like 4 or 5 different currency in the BRICS bank to use to trade within all the BRICS countries and Africa and South America and all those countries that want to move away from the dollar. So in August, which is very soon, which is the next couple of months, we're gonna see what the final decision will be about the BRICS currency. And then when that finally happens, because remember, with Brazil, China, Russia, and the United Arab Emirates, those countries have the biggest economy. Come together, they have the most GDP globally when you put those 4 countries together, right? And also with the BRICS family, they have the most more population compared to the rest of the world. When you put all the BRICS countries together, their population is a couple billion people compared to the EU. So that's how it's becoming an emerging bloc, and we're gonna see where the dollar don't have that dominance, so it cannot be weaponized and used against other countries in sanctions. So when America come and say that they're gonna sanction this country, it wouldn't matter because they're not using the US currency anyway. So like right now, they can no longer sanction Brazil because Brazil is not trading in the US dollar at all. And Kenya does start the same process, and I hope more and more African countries starting to move away from the dollar, and so you don't have to have this huge amount of dollar in reserve before you can even spend a nickel to do anything. And that's what crippling most African countries, because they have to keep the US in reserve. They have to keep buying it and keeping it. They have to keep a certain level. They have to have 60 to 85%. Some African countries of their GDP have to be in US currency, and that hampers the country from investing and developing the country. So if you do away with the dollar, then you don't have to keep that money in reserve anymore. You can keep your own currency in reserve and then do your projects and develop the country accordingly. Anyway, thanks for watching. You don't know. Peace, one love, boom.